Spacey Sims, and we are back with more Piofiore, and we will probably get our romantic end with Henry, even though right now we're slowly burning to death. Doesn't seem... It's a little melancholy and sad and bittersweet, but I am hopeful? Hopeful, question mark? I don't know. I mean, logically, I don't think we're gonna die, because how can we die and have a Henry 1926 epilogue? You know? And there is no bad ending epilogue. You know what I mean? It's in the prequel to 1926, so it makes me think that Henry gets the fuck out of here, and so do we, so. But it's questionable right now. The game is making me question my sanity, but anyway. Henry? He quietly touched the base of the statue, which started to move. Oh. So he might not have died in the other ending. All I'm saying. The statue sunk into the ground, opening a hidden path heading down. Into the lairs of the casino where the phantom lives. Just saying. Go, and this path will lead you outside Berlone. But I can't go with you. Bitch, yes you will. Spacey. Henry urged me to go, but I couldn't let go of his hand now. What are you going to do? Are you staying here? Henry's expression revealed his intentions to me. I like that he took his mask off, but he leaves the wig on. I quickly shook my head. I won't let you go. If you stay, I'll stay. He frowned at me as he began to speak in an irritated voice. Why would you want to die? I don't, and I don't want you to die either. Please, Henry, come with me. The fire was getting stronger as we argued. I knew I was being selfish. Goddammit, just kiss him and show him that you love him. But I had no plans of letting him go. I didn't want him to die. Henry gave a weary sigh as the billowing smoke continued to fill the room. That's when you I'm about to pass out from the smoke inhalation. I guess I'm going to die here unless you drag me out. Because then by the time he gets you out, then you're like, ha ha ha, you can't go back. Trick him. Or then we both die of smoke inhalation, then burn to death. Whatever. Henry gave a weary sigh as the billowing smoke continued to fill the room. I feel like I just read that. Probably did. Let's go. Yes! Yes, I win! Waiting for him to walk first, I stepped into the underground exit. After you! Yeah, I wouldn't trust him. He's like, alright, fine, go, I'll go with you. Closes the thing behind me. After you, you're gonna fucking trick me, and you're gonna lock me in there so I have no choice but to go while you die. Bitch, I'll die on the other side. It looked like the smoke hadn't gotten through here. The air was damp and cold. Well, yeah, because this is where the Phantom of the Casino lives, and he's got, the fucking lake and, the pipe organage. Suddenly, the place shook. Debris fell and mercilessly blocked our way out. The shaking caused me to let go of Henry as I fell to the ground. Henry with a Y, not an I. Come on, stop it, game. He quickly reached out to me, but his hand stopped moving midway. He quietly looked at me and spoke with a hesitant voice. Are you all right? Yes. I smiled as I got up. It's like he's afraid to touch me. The fire was no longer a threat, but thinking that I could have died out there brought a chill over my body. Still, I was feeling relieved now that Henry was here with me. I dusted myself off and turned to Henry. Henry, where does this lead to? I heard this passage was here before the casino was built. I've never used it myself. Lies! This is where he lives. Phantom of the Casino has to live underneath it. I'm sorry. But if the map is correct, it should lead us outside town. You're safe now, so come with me, Henry. Knowing what I was going to say, Henry went quiet. Stop typing his name with a Y and not an I. God damn it, Tim! He tiredly closed his eyes. Quite selfish indeed. I'm sorry. I don't have the right to deny your selfishness now. With that, Henry looked away from me and continued walking. We're skipping merrily behind him. I'm happy, and he's miserable. I feel like we're conning him into this relationship. I hurriedly followed to keep pace behind him. Henry quietly continued on his way. It was almost winter. The air in the passage was cold. He was walking slowly ahead of me, as if he were dragging himself forward with each step. I tried to keep up with him, but the frigid cold was making it difficult to match his pace. I was tripping a lot more now. I tried my best to hide the cold that was eating away at the warmth in my body. Henry suddenly stopped. Henry? I looked up at him hesitantly. Henry's eyes were looking at me with hesitance as well. He sighs, then took off his coat. CG? He placed his coat over me, then sat us down beside each other. Huh? Yay! Look, we're supposed to get 2, and I think this is the one with the 4 variations. Look how questioning his poor face is. His face is like, I guess. Oh, it's like we're calming him into this, poor thing. Henry? Rest a while. Henry whispered quietly. His eyes were staring into the open space. There were a lot of questions I had for him, but feeling his warmth was lulling me to sleep. Don't fall asleep, he'll leave you. Henry, my body was at its limit. Hold on. Get the fire under control! Hurry! Dante was yelling angrily. And the firefighters, police, and even the mafia were trying to extinguish the flames. And the members who attacked the factory joined the effort as well. But this was no ordinary fire. The explosions were so strong that, despite everyone's efforts, the fires showed no signs of diminishing. Gilbert was quietly glaring at the casino when suddenly he took off his jacket. Do not go in! Good. Looks like it's a bit weaker than before. Time to go in. Oh, Jesus fucking Christ, Gilbert. Don't go in, you're gonna die! Oh my god, they're all gonna go in and die. Stop! You're going to die! Oliver, being senseless, that sensible one that he is. Oliver was trying his best to stop Gilbert from charging into the casino. I see Redford has a death wish. If that's the case, why not let him be? Hearing Yang's ridiculous jesting, the usually quiet Orlok went into a fury. How are you so calm? Is she still in there? And the balance of life and death is interesting, but once the result is known, it gets quite boring. If he thinks he won't die in there, so be it. Let him test it out for himself. Orlok clenched his fist. He wanted to dive into the fire too, but he knew well enough that he couldn't. I looked up at the burning casino. Her words crossed my mind. I'll be fine. I also need to meet him anyway. I need to meet him as the Key Maiden. No, as Spacey Adornado. The flames continued its wrath on the casino. Okay. Unable to fight back, I slowly closed my eyes. That one's supposed to have multiple versions. That CG is all I'm saying. I slowly opened my eyes. Okay, good, we're still here. Okay. I recalled what happened, seeing him beside me and feeling his warmth. Good, he didn't leave us. It's because he loves us. I'm sorry. I must have fallen asleep. Don't worry. Rest a bit longer. Seeing the situation we were in, I couldn't possibly sleep now. I slowly looked up at his face. Did he not sleep? It looked like he was gazing into the air. He didn't seem to have slept for a moment. I like the fact that he's actually holding us, though. It's kind of sweet. With one hand, but not the other one. He's just like, I'm holding you with my right arm, but you don't know that I am. Bitch, I know that you are. You just think I don't know, but I know. Aren't you tired, Henry? No. Even if you can't sleep, just rest a while longer. We still have far way to go. You won't last without sufficient rest. If you're not going to sleep, then I want to talk with you. Again. I suppose I can listen, but I have nothing to say to you now. There's a lot I want to ask you. I want to know you better. Like, we basically forced him to love us. Like, I have nothing to say to you. Like, you're gonna have to learn to get over it, buddy. We're married now. Like, Really, really do feel like we tricked him into this. I kind of feel like we lured him into a, like, cage. It's not a physical cage. It's a mental and emotional cage. Like, he is chained to us now. It's kind of like, okay. Remember when we talked about you before? How you were born in France, then came to this town? What happened after that? I heard you were later adopted by someone in the Falzone family. And that's... Henry looked reluctant to speak. I could feel his arm around me get tense. Should I have not asked about that? No, it's fine. Now let's talk a little. And this is a good opportunity for you to know how unclean I am. Huh? The Falzone are very strict about their bloodline, even amongst their own relatives. Do you think they'd be happy to welcome in a complete stranger? My sister was about to kill the Falzone boss's wife and child. Henry's voice began to tremble. Okay. Child mental abuse. He's already in a rough state because he was ripped away from his family died. His sister was the only thing he had left. He saw her spiraling mentally. She ends up dead. He blames the Falzone. He gets pawned off on this family who are like, this unclean heathen. And they're also probably taking it out on him about what his sister did. Like, it's not his fault that his sister was mentally cuckoo, okay? And they goddamn mentally and emotionally abused him. Maybe physically, too. Oh my god, well... Oh, this poor fucking thing. Henry, you do need a lot of therapy. I hope hug therapy is something that you need, because I will definitely give you that, but we need to actually find you a real therapist. I held tightly onto his clothes. Oh, look at his little sad face. My poor precious. I became their whipping boy. Oh! They adopted me, but threw me into a small room and barely gave me enough to eat. I doubt they cared whether I was dead or alive. In fact, my death would have been more convenient for them, which is sad because the Falzone, wouldn't have done that. They just thought it would be better for you. They didn't know that this was happening. He closed his eyes as if remembering, like Dante and his actual immediate family. They had a daughter around the same age as Chloe. She was the only one who treated me kindly. I took a deep breath. Someone cared about you, Henry. She stopped her parents from beating me. She asked that at least they do it elsewhere. Huh? She kindly took me in. Soon she forced me to play with her. I never once wanted to play, though. Wait, Henry... I trembled as I spoke his name. Henry ignored me and continued. This just sounds like it's going in a whole direction that I don't want to read about. Oh. God, this sounds way worse than the parent... I'll go back to the whipping, please, because this sounds creepy and shady as fuck, is all I'm saying. She made me do all sorts of things, but she gave me bread if I did her bidding. It doesn't sound like she made him play dress up. It makes it... Oh. I would have died if it weren't for her. I just wanted to live. But not be... Oh. In exchange, I threw away my pride. Oh. I cursed God and the world itself. It's gonna make me want to cry. Poor baby Henry. I hated the Falzone for taking everything away from me. I couldn't maintain my sanity without hatred. No, I suppose I had gone mad long before then. You were being beaten, mentally, emotionally abused, and it kind of almost sounds like their daughter sexually abused you. I'm just saying. I don't know if that's what they're trying to convey, but that's just the creepy, cringy feeling I get, and I don't like it. God, hold him tighter. Oh my god, this poor fucking thing. Everything you did was totally understandable. It's how you didn't snap. Oh, you poor fucking thing. Oh, my poor Phantom of the Casino. Oh. Henry snickered coldly. Henry... Have you ever cursed God? My answer to Henry then, if someone precious to me were being threatened with danger, and if no one would help, then I may curse God. We'll help you, Henry. I don't believe in God, so I don't fear him. God chose Chloe, yet he didn't save her. Why should I fear such a useless existence? Also because you're thinking he didn't save you with all the shit you were going, oh, it hurts. It hurts my heart so bad. This is like, it's supposed to be a happy romantic ending, and you're like, oh god, it hurts. This is more traumatic than any of the bad endings. Okay, look. Orlok's tragic ending was like painful and hard, but you were like, nope, this isn't canon. This is a happy ending. Oh my god. I can't. It wasn't just Chloe who couldn't be saved. Henry was left to face life alone. He lived a life of suffering, with no one to help him and no one to save him. Just thinking about that made me sick, seriously. One day, that girl died an unfortunate death while playing with me. What? Okay, wow, what? I then killed the remaining of the family the remaining members of the family. If I didn't, they would have killed me. I listened as Henry recounted the events matter-of-factly. I couldn't say a word. I returned to France alone. I did all I could to survive there. I had no one and nothing and survived on my own. Soon I learned to use others. I met Sebastiano Gallier, an exchange student from Italy, who I befriended and then killed to assume his identity. Wow. He just went from fucked up to fucked up. I kind of understand. She died accidentally, they would have killed you, so you killed everybody else. I mean, that's extreme, but not wrong that they would have killed you for her accidental death. Was she into, like, choking? Like, I mean, how? She died while playing. I mean, it could have just been like, she fell off a cliff by accident. I don't know. But I'm just saying, her version of playing sounds shady and gross. Okay. I don't trust this. But, like, Jesus. So, here's the thing. He made friends with, which we knew. We knew he wasn't really Sebastiano Gallier because it was like, everyone in his family died except for him. But it's I killed him, took his identity because he was in France. He was pretending to be him. Nobody in France would have known. They would have been like, oh, okay. How did his family... I guess that's why he had to kill his family, because they would have been like, you look absolute... It's weird, because you used to have, like, dark hair, and, like, now you're blonde? Weird. Like, you know what I mean? They would have fucking noticed that you looked nothing like Sebastiano, right? This is not the Prince and the Pauper fucking situation where, like, oh my god, we're somehow, like, identical twins, separated at birth or some shit. Like, is that how it's... I don't know, they just look alike. But you know what I mean? The chances of that happening and finding your doppelganger? Slim. I needed his family name, so I killed everyone in his family. I drenched my hands in their blood. You said you'd forgive me, but I have no right to be saved. Now you see how unclean I truly am. Choosing to kill off 2 entire families. Yeah. Well, killing off the Gallier family, absolutely crazy. Killing off the Foul Zone extension, kind of like I could forgive you for that because they were assholes, they beat you, and all the shit that they did, and like kind of understandable. They're also mafia, so like I can't really feel too bad about that. But like, Jesus. See, you were in a bad spot and then you just spiraled out of control. Henry, I know the ugliness of humans, and that includes myself, living a life of tragedy and satire. You may not think so, but all living things are dirty in some way. Which is why I don't want to touch anyone. But now, Henry was holding me in his arms. He's got that little smirk. Is Henry forcing himself to hold me? I thought countless times on how to meet my vengeance and why I'm still alive. And nothing came from my being alive aside from hatred and suffering. Henry, I don't know what to say. Henry's words hit something inside of me. Oh, look at his sad, beautiful face. Tears began rolling down my cheeks. I know! That's how I feel inside. I'm sorry, Henry. Why? You don't want me touching you. No, that's not it! I thought before that you probably lived alone all your life. I thought you hated the Mafia because of all the suffering you went through. But I couldn't have been more wrong. I wasn't even close to understanding how much you've suffered. Even his warmth, which comforted me, only brought him pain. Hug him, God damn it. You hold him now. My being here with him must be making him suffer. I'm so sorry, Henry. Henry looked at me, troubled. I should never have made you come with me. I love you, but if you didn't, I'm so sorry. Go back. He kept opening his mouth as if he wanted to say something to me, but closed it again. Henry finally spoke in a sad voice. Go to sleep, Spacey. He firmly held me closer to him as if he was trying to calm me. Forget what I said. My story is over now. How can I forget? I was having a hard time breathing. Sorrow gripped my heart as I felt his warmth. I couldn't hold back my tears as I leaned against him. If I wake up and you're gone, I'm going to be so pissed. Don't you dare leave me behind. I wonder how long it's been. Henry, I'm fine now. He slowly released his hold on me. I'm sorry. You must have been cold, too. I gave the coat back to him. Henry quietly took it from my hand. Spacey. Henry awkwardly lent his hand to me. Huh? I looked at the black glove on his hand for a moment. If Henry's all right, then... I hesitantly reached out to him. He twitched the moment I touched his hand. That's so cute, though. He's like, I'm so dirty, and I go, oh my god, you want to... He's not like, don't touch me! He's like, I don't want to touch you and, like, sully you. Aw. You're so cute. I quickly tried to withdraw my hand, but Henry took it and held it. Henry... He's so fucking awkward, our little awkward duck. Aw. Henry started to walk, and I followed. I could feel his warmth through his glove. We continued, hand in hand, as we searched for the exit. Moving would be better no matter how cold you are, because if you lay there, the cold sets in, but if you're moving, you can get warmer. After a long walk and frequent rests along the way, we finally made it out. Let's just take a minute and pause for dumbass Spacey who just said frequent rests. Moment of silence for my dignity. Okay, never mind. I couldn't tell what time it was underground, but it looked like the sun was about to set. Wait. After a long... Oh, yeah. Okay, no. I wasn't looking at the screen. I was cringing at myself, so I thought it double-clicked. Based on the sun, Berlone should be in that direction. You should... return to town. Everyone is waiting. What about you, Henry? Either way, I'll be disposed of. Either by the Berlone Mafia or the government. A just punishment for all I've done. Okay, well, the Direttore, Sebastiano Gallier, died in that fire. That's disappointing. So the government can't do shit to you, because they have no idea who Henry is. And I'll tell the Mafia if they fucking touch you, I'll take them out. He smiled slightly. I have no place to live, and no reason to live. No, I had neither from the very beginning. I've just realized it now. I looked at his sad smile. God brought us together. God brought us... I can't do the anger. I can't do it in his voice, that line. He understands that vengeance is futile. I still dream of my sister to this day. Not once has she left my dreams. Then just make a new place to live. If not in this country, somewhere else. I'll go with you. My words came out without thought. Maybe I was already intent on it. The moment I jumped into the fire. Maybe I was already intent on it the moment I jumped in the fire. I mean, I would have assumed that, yes. That was the moment I realized I didn't want to lose him. Henry was staring at me with a bewildered look on his face. I know, right? He looked at me like a lost child. I mean, he kind of is. He's like, everything is like, wait, I had a purpose. Why are you in love with me? I don't know either. Yes, I do. I love you so fucking much. I'm not sure why, but I love you. I don't want to let go of his hand. Why are you saying that? You told me you loved this town. You're willing to leave everyone and everything behind for me. Yes? Why? I don't know. But I want to show you, Henry. I want to show you there's so much joy and happiness in this world. It can't be only pain or suffering. My eyes welled with tears as I recalled what he had been through. She's such a good soul. I love this game so much, I'm gonna cry. I'm sure you can find a reason to live. Dying won't absolve you of your sins, so you need to live, Henry. If you sincerely feel sorry for all those you've sacrificed, then live, no matter what. That will be your punishment. Would those I killed really want that? They must be waiting for me in their graves. I don't know the feelings of those people, but I do know this. Your death won't save anyone, and I don't want you to die. Henry looked as though he was about to cry. All of us, let's just all cry together. Asking him to live must be a very cruel thing to him, but I won't let his hand go. I'll hold Henry's hand tight. I just want to be by his side. That was my wish. Is that the end? It is. We still have like one more fucking CG, bitch. So, and then the happy ending. We're back to Nicola. A few months passed since the casino fire. We continued to hold our meetings at the church. Barlone had not yet settled down. We had a pile of work ahead of us. I'm guessing Gil didn't jump into the fire. Nope. We finally got rid of the remaining men under the Direttore. And the church has ordered the disbandment of the currency union so that its name can never be used again. As usual, everyone reported on the results of their work. We looked at each other and nodded. I got a letter from Space. She's alive? That's great news! We couldn't find her body in the casino, so we began searching for her whereabouts. Time passed with no new developments, and then suddenly we received a letter from her. I'm so glad we told our friends that we're safe! Aw, good, we didn't make them worry. Good for us. She was apologizing to all of us for not being able to repay what we've done for her. But we didn't. Which means he's alive, isn't he? I hope you didn't assume he was dead. I mean, because again, if he was dead, I would have come back to town. They know damn. Yang's like, you know he's not dead, right? If she jumped in the fire to save his ass and then he was dead, she'd have come back to town. Plain and simple. Like, Yang can do math. He can do logic math. I'm proud of him. Proud of our trash bando. Let's pat him on the head. Everyone take a moment. Pat Yang on the head. Good boy. Okay. Well, yeah, but we couldn't get any leads on him either. He's been living a life of secrecy all this time. I doubt we'll find him anytime soon. Indeed. Well, so much for the Burlone Mafia. Gilbert laughed and shrugged at Yang's remark. We'll just keep looking. Why? Leave me alone. Henry and I were together now. We ran off to a remote village in France. We bought a rundown church and were using it for children orphaned by war. Oh my god, we're so cute. We were living a life in peace and quiet. I didn't say farewell to Burlone, so I sent a letter, just once, to the Burlone Mafia. It was my only way of apologizing to them after all they've done for me. Here's the thing! Do they not have postmarks in 1925? Like, where they're like, she's in a little town in France. That's without the postmark. Like, you just look at the postmark. Do they not? Maybe they didn't do that in Italy. I don't know. I'm just thinking, like, right now. Like, I don't know when that started, but they certainly... we weren't using the Pony Express in America in 1925, is all I'm saying. But again, maybe you didn't have a stamp for the city that it came from, because you got that now. I don't have to put my return address. People know the rough area where that fucking letter comes from. It's no secret. So, it was my only way of apologizing to them after all they've done for me. I also wrote my appreciation, too. Days passed when suddenly he appeared in front of us. Orlok? Oh, Emilio. Emilio! Hello there. Emilio? Oh, Emilio! Henry looks pissed. Henry's face hardened, seeing Emilio suddenly appear in the village. Do those two know each other? Do they? Emilio was, as usual, speaking to us without a care in the world. Fucking love Emilio. Well, that's true. Emilio does know him because he made a comment at the end of Dante's good ending or bad ending. One of them, Emilio was talking to Henry, so yes, they do know each other. Oh, they're not as angry as you think. They? Oh, wait, you mean... Emilio must have known what I was going to say. He smiled at me in reply. Really? Yes, they're not resentful of you. In fact, they're more worried than anything. Emilio glanced at Henry. Of course they are the Mafia. They can't just let him go free. If you want him to live, you'll need to go into hiding again. In another country. Hey! They are the Mafia, but they can learn to leave me alone. Henry didn't say a word. Emilio continued, We're happy living here with our orphans. If you're out of options, contact the church for help. Even if it was fated by the stars, it is true that we caused trouble to the both of you. Emilio is Jesus. Okay, no, we know Jesus' body is in a crypto. Emilio is God. I'm sorry. Fight me. Like, come on. He fucking owns everything. He is the puppet master of all of our fates. I mean, he's the one who was, like, divining the stars and shit. He is the puppet master of all our fates. You want to believe in God, right there. Emilio, fucking God. The young man lowered his beautiful head apologetically. I'll continue to watch over you both. If needed, I'll lend a helping hand. It's the least I can do for you. See? He's taking full response. I'm just saying. Emilio, I was about to ask him something. Are you God? When? Space! The wind is blowing the laundry away! Oh no! The laundry was fluttering on the lines as I ran to the children, trying to hold the laundry down. We're gonna have to pack up and leave. What are we gonna do with these fucking orphans? Can't take them with us. We have to find someone else. We have to run away. I'm assuming we're Henry, so I'm just gonna go with that until we know otherwise. It could be Emilio, but I'm assuming Henry. I could see her fighting the laundry, fluttering in the high winds. They should put Henry up there, not others. Messenger of the church, can I ask you something? As you wish. Our mission is to be shepherds to lost sheep in need. Yeah. Messenger of the church. Just fucking quotes around that. He's fucking God. Not gonna convince me otherwise. I don't know how much you know about me, but I've committed grave sins. I've taken many lives to ease my suffering. I don't deserve salvation. I'll probably die at the hands of those who curse me. I believe I deserve as such, and I'm willing to accept any punishment. And? He didn't look any different since I last saw him. He looked calmly at me. But what about her? Won't she also be punished if she stays next to me? Let me answer your questions, Henry. He gazed at me with a serious expression. Those who do wrong will be punished. That applies to you, too. That's what it means to sin. Sin and punishment work together. I listened intently to his words. But how she chooses to live and who she wants to live with isn't a sin. A God is one who forgives our tainted souls, not punishes them. I don't understand God's teachings, and I doubt I can believe in him either. But you're talking to him! I'm sorry. Fight me. You can't convince me otherwise. This is my fan theory. I'm sticking with it. But I'm fine, so long as she isn't punished. Henry, if you wish the best for her, you must live a life of repentance. You know for yourself that your life was spared, not by God, but by her. I lowered my eyes as Emilio continued. You're still having the same dream, aren't you? How did he know that? 'Cause he's God! I stopped myself from asking, 'cause you don't want to know you're talking to God. But you are. He doesn't look like Morgan Freeman in this, but Emilio is motherfucking Jesus. Like, not Jesus. He's motherfucking God. Like, fight me. He can take whatever form he wants. Be it Morgan Freeman, Alanis Morissette, or fucking Emilio. But in this, he's fucking Emilio. It doesn't make sense to ask at this point. And I'm not sure I want to know the answer. I know someone's going to be like, no, because he can just divine the stars. And he's like, why? No, but he's fucking God. I'm just going with that, okay? It's more fun. It was clear to me that he lived outside the natural law of this world, right? He looked no different now from the moment I first met him when I was a child. See? You're going to be like, he's like an angel or something. No, he's God. I still have the same dream at times. I hope it will fade away someday. And this is also explains why we see him and we're like, he seems to know a lot for a young child. And you're like, there's some weird shit going on with Emilio, right? And I told you he was like fucking immortal or some shit. It's because he's God. Your words are appreciated, but I doubt it will ever fade away. I can't escape from the nightmare. I'll always be shackled to it for as long as I live. Emilio's like, you need to learn to let shit go, Henry. I'll continue to hear the curses and anguish of those I've sacrificed forever. Isn't it painful? Don't you wish to die? It was quite a thing to say, considering the church condemned suicide. Emilio was smiling as if he knew what the answer to my question would be. Or the answer to his question would be, actually. I answered with honesty. I'm not suffering as much now. And that's because she's here each morning when I wake up. I've been living in a nightmare ever since I lost my sister. I couldn't tell whether the nightmares I had at night were real or not. Everything I saw was tainted and unclean. Everyone. My blood. My flesh. Everything. But now I know the dream I have is a dream. My reality has now become a life with Spacey beside me. I looked at the palm of my hands. I didn't want her to touch me at first. At times, I felt like I shouldn't touch her. I thought I needed to keep her as far away from me as possible. But now, as I fell into a sea of thought alone, Amelia was looking at me with a warm smile. I'll pray for you and your partner's future to be filled with happiness. Such a good God. Phew! Thanks to the children, I was able to gather the laundry together before it flew away. I lifted up the hefty basket with all my might. I followed after the kids who were running happily back inside. I'll hold that. Henry was standing beside me and extended his hand out to help. Oh, I'm fine. CG? Yes? Oh! Wait. Oh. I'm just really sad he only got like a few, though. Literally only got like 3. We'll get 4 in the other one, but like, seriously? His hair tickled me as it blew in the breeze. It didn't take long for me to notice that he had kissed me gently on the cheek. I couldn't seem to get my thoughts together. My cheek. He kissed me? Henry took the basket from my hands, seeing that I had frozen in my tracks. That was quick. Huh? What? Even then, I couldn't get myself to think straight. I'm guessing this is the first time he's ever, like, he barely touches us, so kissing on the cheek, and this is the first time. That's cute. Wait, Henry! As I called out to him, he turned around and smiled. I hurriedly chased after him to ask him what happened. What was that? Why did... Henry touched me when we were making our escape from the underground passage. But since then, even after escaping here, he hadn't touched me at all. Hey, Henry! Henry didn't answer and headed inside. As I gave chase, I could feel my cheek getting unusually hot. I wasn't sure why, but all I knew was that my heart was racing when he kissed me. How cute. So, I still don't know what this feeling is, but Jesus Christ, white on white? Could you really? I only ask that Henry continues to smile. Whoever thought this was a good idea should be slapped. I pray from the bottom of my heart that his pain and suffering will one day disappear. No. Spoiler, what I've heard about 1926, when we're going to get that fanfic, probably won't be next year, it'll be the year after, so it'll be forever, so you'll forget by then, and it's okay. We've had our lovely intimate moments with everyone. We get that with Henry in 1926. And that explains why we had to wait so long, because this is the first time he's ever, like, he kissed us on the cheek, and we're like, but you won't even, like, touch me. And I don't mean, like, touch me. I just mean you won't even, like, touch my hand or, like, hear him hand. Oh, my God! Like, oh, yay! Oh, it does say Henry Lambert. Okay. I wasn't sure what it said. So, yeah. Yes. It was almost a full-length part 2, so. Oh, right, we're Henry, aren't we? I'm late. I bought a gift for Spacey and the children. I hope they'll like it. I gave a chuckle, thinking how much I had changed. The lights are out, and the place was dark. I didn't hear any voices. Did they all go out? I ran my hand along the wall to find the switch. A small body lay on the ground. This doesn't sound good! 3 of them were lying in a pool of blood. What? What the? What? The wounds and gashes on their flesh reminded me of what torture was. She was nowhere to be found. I tried to force myself to call her name. I forcefully dragged my fear-struck body in search of her. I found what was once her. What? Please tell me this is a dream. I slowly touched her body. I can't scream like Henry, I'm sorry, but this has got to be a dream. There is no fucking way! That can't be the prologue to his thing, and... That had to have been a fucking dream, because this... Wait, what? What the hell just happened? Spring was almost upon us. It was a warm and wonderful day. Good morning, Henry. I was getting ready for breakfast. Henry slowly walked into the living room. You're up early. Good morning. Are the children still sleeping? Yes, I don't think they'll be up anytime soon. I see. Something didn't feel right. Henry doesn't look good at all. Are you feeling all right? Well, why do you ask? You look a little pale. Henry gave a weak smile. I'm just tired from work. I was going to try and get more sleep, but before I knew it, the sun was already rising. He doesn't want to tell us he had a dream of us dead. Oh, I see. Henry was working as a translator. He was able to speak and understand Italian, French, and even Latin. Fucking genius. Rub it in my face, why don't you? I'd go around his desk sometimes and find books in English and other languages as well. Maybe you should go back to sleep. And don't worry about it. I'll be fine. I'm sorry, Henry. If only I could help. I mean, he knows French because he was French, and then, like, you ended up in Italy as a child and you would learn Italian, you know what I mean? So, I'm having him bear the burden of making money so that we can survive. To think that I was the one who wanted him to live. A reminder to you, Spacey. He closed his eyes and spoke in a gentle tone. You're needed in this home. You've kept watch over me and the children, and I appreciate it very much. There's no way I could raise them myself. I also can't live like this without you. Henry, there's no need to rush. Your French is much better than before. But that's only because you taught me, Henry. I smiled as I asked him for a favor. Do you mind teaching me again once your work is done? Hearing him speak in French is so lovely. I disagree. I'm sorry. I'm just one of those people that, like, everyone's like, oh, French is so pretty. I don't think French is beautiful at all. Like, I just don't like the sound of it. But I love the sound of Japanese, so... Look, there's different strokes for different folks. Some people actually love the Romance languages. Oh, the Romance languages, like French and Spanish and all those things. And I just don't. Like, I'm just like, yeah, nope. Don't find them beautiful at all. But, like, I love listening to Japanese. So, there's got to be some of us, right? Some of us have just got to like the languages that other people are like, oh my god, it's not as pretty as French. Bitch, fight me. It's better. Anyway. I knew it sounded odd, but I couldn't describe my feelings for him. I mean, I love Henry, so whatever. And it's going to be so much more. We should really replay these after with the voice actors. To be like, hearing him speak in French. Really, it's funny because it sounds like Japanese to me, but whatever. Henry gazed at me with a gentle smile and a somewhat perplexed look in his eyes. Stop by my room whenever you want. Oh, hi. Why was I so happy to hear him say that? Because you think you're getting some, but you ain't. I couldn't stop myself from smiling. So, would you like something to eat? No. Can I just have a cup of cafe au lait? Yes, of course. You just sit down. He hasn't eaten anything, so hot milk would be better for his stomach, but I didn't want to risk jogging his memory. He hasn't liked hot milk ever since he was a child under the Falzone family's custody. As I prepared the cafe au lait, Henry called out to me gently. I have to go into town for business. Okay. Worrying about his childhood made my expression cloud. Oh God, and is that supposed to be the prequel to what's gonna... No. But his smile melted away my worries. Because honestly, I was like, did the Mafia come and kill the children to get back at him? But like, the Mafia wouldn't kill me, and I really can't put... Dante, seriously, you're gonna kill children? Dante, the fuck? Morning! Good morning, everyone! I greeted the children running into the living room with a bright smile. Our lively breakfast was finished. Henry spoke to me from behind as I was about to clear the dishes. They're like, why do Mommy and Daddy sleep in separate rooms? Shut up! Different relationships. Let me do that. You see to the kids. It was only recently that I noticed how helpful and watchful Henry was. He helped with the chores a lot and made life so much easier for me. Thank you, Henry. I'm not good with kids anyway. I'm sure they'd have more fun with you around. You may not know, but the children always ask me the same question whenever you're out. They keep asking when you're going to be back. Everyone loves you, you know. I can only hope. Oh, like everyone loves you. I can hope. Oh, I do love you, Henry. He hesitantly smiled as he took the dishes to the kitchen. Hey, that's mine! No fighting, everyone. We're supposed to share the toys. I quickly reprimanded the children who were trying to keep the toys to themselves. Henry came walking into the living room with his attaché case. Are you leaving? Yes. Be careful, Henry. Are you all right? Today, I want you to stay at home. Huh? Also, I keep the children inside. Aww! Henry's always worried about leaving me and the kids at home, but that had to have been a dream. Something doesn't feel right today. How come? I want to play outside! I love how young kid doesn't even have a name. Jean got a name. Giovanni got a name. Laura got a name. But this kid is just kid. I'm sure he has a good reason. I have a surprise for everyone. I'm thinking of making a special kind of treat for you today. Really? It's called Paris Brest. A ring-shaped pastry filled with cream. This pastry was made in the year 1891 in commemoration of the bicycle race Paris-Brest Paris. Sure. I'm sure that's not how you say it, but... Brest? It's probably like, bro. Okay, sure. Fucking French and your fucking missing letters. I see you, Bordeaux. E-A-U-X bullshit. I see you, UK, putting U's in random fucking words that don't need them, like color. Spelling Czech like Czechwy. Anyway, I'll need a lot of help, though. I wonder who can help me. Oh, I want to help! Thank you. Thank you, Spacey. Not an acknowledgement, and he smiled. I like how everyone else calls me, like, Space, but he's always just straight up Spacey. Everyone's waiting for you to return, Henry. Understood. The children and I saw him off as the reluctance on his face disappeared. I really hope that was just a fucking dream, because how are we going to end up dead in Henry's fucking, like, route? Now we're Henry. I finished the work meeting, then stepped outside with my payment and a new book to work on. Maybe I can buy something for her. Something that would make her happy. No, I better return early today. What I experienced with Chloe in that town appeared in my dreams vividly. I often couldn't tell what was a dream and what wasn't. I've had many dreams of the past before, but this was the first time the nightmare had felt so real. I knew it was just a dream, okay, but I couldn't shake off the fear. And it makes you feel like, oh my god, but his dream's going to come true. Please don't. This is not the kind of dream. It looks like you're working hard. He stood in front of me, looking no different from before. Emilio? Okay. I didn't know who it was, so I was like, is it someone from the mafia? It's going to scare me. I'm glad I led you to taking this job. This was the third time Emilio had appeared in front of me. He walked alongside me as he continued. He just magically appeared, because that's what God does. But no need to thank me. Your working is a benefit for me, too. You're talented enough to make money in whatever means and ways possible. And so I'd rather have you do peaceful work that won't get you into trouble. And then again, having you translate materials from the church must be pure suffering. Texts don't bring suffering, so I don't particularly care. I'm glad you said that. But I'm still worried that you're forcing yourself to do the work. His words came out so nonchalantly that I doubted he cared one bit. Aren't you able to support her and the kids with just half of the work you're doing now? I always thought you didn't really care about making money. Preparing, eh? For when you're punished, perhaps? Why are you here, Emilio? I assume you're here for me and not her. Precisely. I've always liked how sharp you are. Okay, Emilio just sounds a little devious right now. Emilio, I thought you were God and I thought you were good, but now I'm starting to think that you might be Satan, right? Like, I don't know. You're being a little shady. Despite his mysterious presence, no one in town was taking notice of him because they think you're talking to yourself. They don't even see him. It was as if no one could see him. See? I assumed it'd be faster if I asked you instead of her. It seems as if you're both living quite well together, but I just wanted to see if that was so. Is that a question? And if it were, you already know the answer. I don't see the point of asking. All I can say is that a relationship isn't what you're expecting. I assumed as much, which is why I came to see you. Spacey, she was still the key maiden. She hadn't lost her position yet. Are you all right with that? You're a smart person. Among those I've watched over so far, you are by far the smartest of them all. Which is why you know what I'm saying, don't you? He's like, she hasn't lost her position as the key maiden. You're gonna have to pork that bitch. Emilio! Jesus! I didn't have solid evidence, but his words changed my doubt to conviction. I closed my eyes. It's kind of funny that Emilio's popping up like, hey, you gonna have sex with her or what? Like, Jesus, Emilio! Despite my doubts of her status, I kept wishing that it wasn't so. But if you have sex with me, then I'll lose my position as key maiden. I'm just saying, there's an easy fix for this. I have researched extensively about the Falzone family's relationship with the key maiden. Back then, what my sister told me was beyond my understanding, but now it's all making sense. So, what are your feelings in relation to her? Is she simply your savior? Or is she more than that to you? Emilio is like literally trying to make this happen. High five for Emilio. He's our bro. He's a good wingman. It's weird that God is wingman and so hard for us, but I'm just like, I know he's not supposed to be God, but I'm just saying it's a little too close for comfort. Like, he is some kind of magic, but how surprising. I didn't expect to hear that from you. Henry, look at me. I'm not asking you out of curiosity. If anything, it's because I care. But my position doesn't allow me to directly interfere with the happenings of this world. My position as God doesn't allow me to directly interfere with the happenings of this world. I'm just saying! Come on! My only request is that my only request to you and her is to keep what I share with both of you a secret. Both? Spacey, are you fine if I share what I know with her? And the choice is up to you, as always. I didn't want to be touched by her. But soon, I felt as if I shouldn't touch her. And now, I come into contact with her often. I kept asking myself why. But I didn't know the answer yet. Poor confused little Henry. Oh, he's been through so much shit he doesn't It's love, Henry. Sweetie, baby. Okay.
The fact that I don't have the right to touch her hasn't changed. Yet, when I talk with her, my mind begins to muddle. Before I even realize it, I reach my hand out to her despite knowing I shouldn't. Maybe he appeared in front of me because he knew that. I don't want her to follow her fate. But I also know that I need to return her to her fate as well. At least I know he will protect her. He walked away without a word.
Amelia was like, for God's sakes, Henry, smack! Just admit you love her and have sex with her already.
I rushed back home without seeing him off as he walked into the crowd. I finally saw the house up ahead.
Yeah, it was definitely a dream, but
I ran faster to rid my mind of the nightmare.
welcome home, Henry.
Henry! I'm home.
I noticed his expression relaxed a bit, seeing that we were all in here. Dinner's almost ready. I just need to make the finishing touches.
I can't wait for the Paris
breast or whatever. Breast? Whatever. Everyone pitched in to make it, so I'm sure it's going to be good. Probably a train wreck, but whatever.
You haven't eaten yet.
Well, we wanted to wait to eat with you.
I see.
Henry crouched down to the children's eye level.
Sorry to have kept you all waiting. No problem. You were working, right? We did a lot to make it, so I hope you like it, Henry. I'm sure I will. Oh, and we helped make dinner, too. And that's amazing. I'm looking forward to it.
I smiled, seeing Henry and the children speak so easily together. We made a rich vegetable pot-au-feu? I don't know how to say that. And creamy potato au gratin. For dolce, we had a large Paris breast filled with ricotta cheese and cream. We divided it among the 5 of us here. So there's only 3 kids that were watching, that helps. We prepared dinner and read some books today. The children helped me read the words I couldn't read myself.
Did anyone come by?
No, no one.
I see. Henry, does it taste good?
Yes, it's very good.
Very, very good. Yay!
Henry being good, not Dad. Dad. Love him. Having dinner together was heartwarming. After being with Henry for so long, I came to learn he didn't eat very much. Maybe I'm forcing him to eat by having a meal like this, but I was happy to see Henry tell the children that the food was good. Dinner was over, and the kids were sound asleep. Well, Henry, have a good night.
Yes, a good night.
Spacey, do you have a moment? What is it, Henry? Is something the matter? I tilted my head as he called my name. This one's like a super long part.
Aren't you going to send your letter?
Huh?
To Berlone.
My eyes widened. Why all of a sudden? I put my thoughts together. There's no need for me to send anything. They all know I'm doing fine. I also don't want to worry them. Elena and Sister Sophia in particular. And I don't want them to know where I am now.
I see.
Something wasn't right. Say, Henry, is there something going on? This was the first time he mentioned anything related to the town where we used to live.
It just crossed my mind, that's all.
Henry smiled gently. It didn't relieve the odd feeling inside me.
I'm sorry to have kept you. Good night.
Yes, good night. I watched as he left the living room. I hesitantly walked to my bedroom. As I lay down on my bed, I couldn't manage to fall asleep. Henry, why did he ask that question? As I turned in bed, I noticed a faint light peeking through the curtains. I looked through the window at the starry sky. I gave a sigh and got out of bed. I draped a robe over myself and headed back to the living room. Moonlight shone through the windows into the darkness of the room. I saw a figure faintly illuminated. Somehow I wasn't surprised. Henry, could you not fall asleep? Henry was leaned against the table and looked up at me, a little surprised. Yes. His response was a bit delayed. He must have been deep in thought.
I slept earlier than usual last night, so I just woke up.
I walked toward the table. I sat in the seat farthest from where he was. What's the matter? Did you really just wake up? You look pretty pale this morning. It can't be work that's waking you. Could it be that you can't sleep? He slowly looked away without a word. I guess Henry doesn't want to talk about it, but... Please, Henry. I want to know more about you. What's going on in your mind now? I guess we could have gone, normal length, because we're, over time, but it's whatever. I couldn't stop myself from asking. I wasn't sure why, but I couldn't hold myself back when it came to Henry. My feelings kept getting the better of me. He's a tough nut to crack. Why do you always think about me? He closed his eyes and mumbled quietly, like we haven't gotten our CG for this yet. I hadn't seen it in a while, and the dream came back to me again. I braced myself for what was to come. I knew before that he was having nightmares. I returned from work in the town, and I find you and the children dead. Which is why I'm afraid to sleep. I don't want to close my eyes anymore. My hands beneath the table tightened. Henry, how much longer will you continue thinking about someone as mad as I am? Huh? He caught me off guard. He chuckled to himself scornfully. You can leave me if you'd like. I'd have nothing against you, even if you decided to return to your usual life. In fact, I don't see why you don't do that. What are you saying? My voice trembled as pain surged through my heart. I want to be with you, Henry. Henry's face was filled with sorrow. The pain ached inside me even more terribly at the thought that I made him sad. Maybe you think I only followed you because of the situation back then. If that's true, then there's nothing I can do about it. What can I say? I know it sounds weird, but I can't explain what made me follow you. Space. It's the first time he's called us Space. All I know is that it wasn't on a whim. I've never felt that feeling before. My heart was in pain. My emotions took control as I began to tear up. Maybe there isn't anything I can do for you, Henry, but I still want to be by your side. I know I'm being selfish here, but I can't hold myself back. He sighed a bit, then smiled at me. Yes, you really are selfish. You keep playing with my heart. He wasn't reprimanding me. His voice was calm and soothing. My heart leapt as I looked into his eyes. Henry? He slowly stood and walked toward me. Are you going to hold me now? You're going to touch me? May I touch you? I smiled involuntarily as Henry looked at me, perplexed. You don't need to ask permission, although it's very nice that he did. Thank you. Because there's nothing I dislike about your touch, Henry. You shouldn't say that. Henry reprimanded me in a light tone. You were like, there's nothing I dislike about you. You shouldn't say that. You're giving him naughty ideas. I'm okay with that. He then reached out a bit reluctantly. CG. Maybe. I moved my hand toward his slowly, in case he changed his mind. Okay, it's just our hands right now, but come on. I can see. We're going to see his beautiful face. Our fingers gently grazed each other. Henry slowly and ever so carefully intertwined his fingers in mine. My heart pounded, feeling his soft skin and gentle touch. This is like the most romantic thing ever, because he's barely touched us, and now he's like, oh my god, he's holding my hand. Oh, good god, look at his beautiful face. Love this son of a bitch. I looked into his eyes, which seemed so forlorn. Henry's so tall. I knew that before, but noticing it again was making my heart race. I just like how he's tall makes her get all steamy. She did the same thing with Gilbert in the finale round. My hands are dirty. Touching you will only serve to stain you. Yet, I still want to, so I can make sure that I'm alive? Yes. Maybe it was just my imagination, but I felt as though Henry was staring at me more intensely than ever before. My heart was racing so fast that I could almost hear it.
You shouldn't forgive me. Who knows what I would do if I'm unable to hold myself back, or if you reject me.
I won't reject you.
You're not convinced.
I'm not. You don't think you should be forgiven, right, Henry? But remember, I did say before that I forgave you. Or that I forgive you, sorry. I was sure that he knew what I was talking about. His eyes shook a bit, hearing my words. God, he's so beautiful. No. Don't leave the CG. Even if the world didn't forgive him, I would forgive him, no matter what. Go back. Thank you. Stay here forever. So, don't worry about me. You can touch me whenever you want. Hey, you can touch me whenever you want. Yes, please. I don't think you know, Henry, but I actually like it when you touch me.
Spacey.
Henry looked surprised. He then sighed, shaking his head.
You shouldn't tease adults like this.
Am I a child to you, Henry?
Yes. You're still a child if you don't feel anything when a man touches you.
I didn't say I didn't feel anything! But that wasn't true. Couldn't he tell how flustered I was now? Before I could say anything, Henry continued.
You're not an adult to me yet. Naturally, since we're far apart in age. You weren't even born back when I was living at the Falzone Manor.
He is like the only fucking person in any fucking game who is like, the age difference a little fucking weird. I mean, it's a 10-year age difference probably around here, but like, or a little more, but it's still like, and that's, yeah. But like, he's still like, you're like, because he's in his 30s. We're like 20. I'm just saying. And like 20 and 30, When you're like 15 and 25, gross. When you're like 30 and 40, that's like fucking nothing. And even 20 and 30, it's a little, it's 1925, whatever. But it's still like, he's the only person every other game, like, sure, she's like 16 and I'm like 42, but like, whatevs, it's cool. And you're like, that's, no, that is not, that is, no, but everyone's like totally fine. Totally okay. Look. He is like the only one that comes out and is like, this is a little awkward. In this case, not as awkward as it is in other ones, but I'm going to give you points just for stating the obvious in most other games, like Sweet Fuse, where we were a teenage girl. I mean, we were in high school, and maybe we were 18. But everybody else was like, there was like I'm just saying, what the fuck is happening here? When they state the age things, it creeps me out. When they don't, it's like, I can just pretend everyone's roughly the same age, but they make a point to tell you all the time. Stop. He was trying to reason with me. I know what he's saying, but I felt vexed, hearing him use our ages as a reason to keep our distance. I mean, in this, it's not like we're 16, we're like 20.
But I've never seen you as too young before.
Which is, I mean, you think you would know, because I'm pretty sure that girl did some awful things to you.
I haven't treated you as a child. Not once.
Really? This is an awkward conversation, and I don't feel it was necessary.
Yes. To me, you're someone special.
My heart leapt at his kind and gentle smile. I mean, bringing up that you weren't even born when I was living at the Falzone Manor, so our age, but like you're not really an adult to me, but you're not a child. It's like, this conversation is kind of awkward. Kills the mood a little bit. But points for pointing out that there is an age difference and it exists, instead of just being like, totally cool that I'm like 45 and you're 16. Whatevs, baby, let's get it on. Gross. It's never been that extreme in games, but it's close. Close! Cafe Enchanté, thank you very much. We're like, what, like early 20s and that guy's like 4. It's a 20-year age difference. That's a little much. I'm just saying, that's a little fucking much. It's weird. I know it happens, but it's still fucking awkward sometimes, okay? Anyway. My heart leapt at his kind and gentle smile. His words weren't coming out of my open mouth. Henry spoke to me with honesty.
Spacey, Living with you has given me a peace I hadn't had since my childhood.
I haven't had since much, sorry.
Even if everything I have now slips through my fingers, I won't forget the time we spent together.
Henry, he was still scared of it all of it all ending. He was living in fear of his nightmares encroaching upon reality. He continued looking at me with kind eyes.
Your hand is so warm.
Yes, I want to be by his side. It was a feeling I felt so strongly, strong enough to bring pain to my heart. Is that how we end his part with that beautiful fucking CG? The awkwardness of like... Let's talk about age! Let's not bring it up. That's our complete CG unlocked. So that was, I knew that was gonna happen. We'll look at this one after we do all the bad endings. I love that. You finished! No, we didn't. We still have to go through the trauma of the bad endings. Yang, Jesus fucking Christ. Take that shirt off, buddy. What? And they're all wearing gloves, which is sexy. Like, hi. Hello! Don't stare at that too long. Wait, hold on. Down 2, 4, 1, and 2. Okay. Oh, what? Wait, how do we toggle as A? Okay. Oh, that was our... I'm just really sad that he only has 4 fucking CGs. It kind of just... It bums me out. Like, I'm just saying, in 1926, could we make sure that he gets more? But I do love the fact that they kind of gave you a Direttore CG. He doesn't have the mask on, which is fine, but, like, we kind of had him in his getup, and I appreciate that. Oh, he has like a sad smile. His sad eye. He has such sad eyes. That's so cute. And I mean, like, so reset is, that doesn't actually work, reset. Right? Because, like, reset is supposed to reset it back to the original, but it doesn't work. So, like, I mean, that, he's got a look, and that's nice. Like, the other one's sweet and beautiful, and it's a little sad, and then this is like, oh, hi. We just went from like, oh, Henry, are you, oh, hi, Henry, are you okay? Like, the look in his eyes is a little much. I like it a lot. Anyway, I'd say that's our game, but it's not. We have to do all the fucking bad endings, so... We probably should have done all the bad endings, and then done the Henry romantic ending. I don't know what I was thinking. But that's okay, because now we get to stare at the Henry CG when we end this part, and then during we'll do our tragic endings, and then we'll look at our final, like, unlocked, finish the game CG, even though we technically haven't finished the game yet. Because that'll be our last CG, so that's perfect. Even though, well, we wouldn't have unlocked it beforehand. You know what I mean? Like, if I recorded all the bad endings first, we wouldn't have had anything to stare at. So, now we do! Woohoo! Are you excited? Anyway. I do love this game. I do. I'm gonna miss it. Because, as far as I'm concerned, we're done now. Because the bad endings, it's like, that never happened! So. Although I am really sad we can't have our man harem and Henry. But I'm just gonna pretend that our man harem ending... Henry's okay. We're gonna find him. We're gonna get him the help he needs. We're all gonna be his friends. And, like, we're gonna also make sure Nicola and Roberto make up. Like, you guys need to make up and be bromance again, okay? Like, Nicola, you hurt Robbie when you rejected him. And that's why he gets angry at you. And don't fuck with him. Just be nice, okay? Like, they're still gonna have their little bro fights. Or little arguments, because Roberto's a little bit of a bitch. But, like... And Nicola's gonna needle him. But I mean, but still, then they're gonna, like, go on bro dates and shit. So it'll be fine. It was the closest thing to a man harem I could have had. I love it so much. Oh, God. Anyway. But anyway, I will see you guys next time, and we'll start the trauma of the bad endings. So remember to give the video a big thumbs up and subscribe to see more.